This is the sound I love. It's like industrial metal that's just slowly creeping up on you. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Molly, and in this video I'm going to be listening to the album Filth Pig by Ministry. Now Ministry is an industrial metal band that I am just starting to dip my toes into. So far I've only heard their 5th studio album Psalm 69, which just had this awesome heavy grittiness to it that I loved. And a lot of you have been telling me to check out their 6th studio album Filth Pig, which they released 4 years after Psalm 69. So I'm really curious to hear this one and just see what I'm going to think of it. Alright, so up first is track 1, which is called Reload. There's almost a staticiness to this. There's so much vocal distortion going on. It's just creating like this really thick, dense sounding track. It sounds like machine gun fire going off at that part. Well, that was track 1, Reload. There was certainly a really driving steadiness to that song. It just had this really heavy rhythm going on to it, and they were adding in all of these really intense sound effects too. Like it sounded almost like machine gun fire at one part, and then glass breaking too. Just a lot of cool effects going on with the sound, and whatever they were doing with the vocals there with all of that distortion was really cool too. It just created this incredibly heavy atmosphere to that song. But I'm going to move on to track 2, which is the title track called Filth Pig. Oh yeah, this is the sound I love. It's like industrial metal that's just slowly creeping up on you. Oh, I love that bass. Yeah, the vocals are a little bit different on this song. Like on the previous track, Reload, they were really distorted. That's less so on this song, even though there's still kind of this haziness to it almost. I don't know what instrument this is. It might be a harmonica. That's kind of what it reminds me of. I'm loving this percussion too. It almost sounds like they're banging on sheet metal or something. I love how they keep stopping the song like that. Well, that was track 2, Filth Pig. I really enjoyed that one. It was like an industrial metal song, but just slowed down. It had this really thick, heavy sound to it. It was almost like if you took something along the lines of Pretty Hate Machine by 9 Inch Nails, but then you infused on kind of what like Alice in Chains does, more of a sludge metal quality. It's like if you fuse those two things together, that's kind of what that song reminded me of. Moving on to track 3 is Lava. It's like a hammer just hitting you over and over. I love how intense this is. They're using this instrumental again. Is it a harmonica? I don't know. This is actually a really strange song. Some of these vocals, I don't even know what he's saying. It's hard to hear. And it's almost like there's two pairs of vocals too. Some are a little bit more up front, a little bit clearer. And then the main vocals are, again, sort of pushed in the background. They're kind of drowned out by the instrumentals a little bit. I love how unrelenting this song is. It's just this driving, steady beat the whole way through. That was track 3, Lava. I don't really know what to think of that one. It was just this really grinding, dense, unrelenting track. It just had so much heaviness to it. And then they still had that distortion too, which kind of gave that track a sort of fuzzy quality. I don't know, just a blend of a bunch of different stuff, but they kept it so rhythmic and controlled in a way. Like it wasn't just this screaming intensity. It was kind of pulled in, but yet they brought so much heaviness to it at the same time. But I'm going to move on to track 4, which is called Crumbs. The vocals on this album so far are just so interesting. It almost sounds like he's underwater. There's just a muffledness to him. I guess you like to taste the shit on your tongue. There's like a snarl to his voice that I'm liking on this one. Yeah, there's always the steadiness to their music. They use a lot of repeating elements, like they keep repeating this weird distorted vocal over and over. And their instrumentals too, they do just have that steady quality to them. That was track 4, Crumbs. I'd say that one was maybe a little bit more up-tempo, I guess you could say, than the previous 2 tracks. It still definitely had that slow steadiness to it, though. But I loved the percussion on that one. It had this really big crashing sound to it. It's just got this incredibly dense sound to it, which I'm really enjoying. Up next is track 5, called Useless. Slowly grinding into nothing. Grinding is a really good word to sum up the sound of this album. Gosh, I loved that bass just there. It had this really fuzzy distortion going on with its sound. I was not expecting to hear vocals like these. Now they're injecting on. It sounds like a chorus backing up the lead vocals here. That was track 5, Useless. That one I would say definitely had a little bit of a different sound on this album so far. It had almost less of a driving rhythm going on. The instrumentals were almost a little bit more rock-esque and less of that sludgy, heavy industrial. And that chorus too that came in toward the end was very unexpected. It almost brought like this heavenly sort of angelic sound to that song, which really contrasted with the main vocals that were all distorted and heavier sounding. But moving on to track 6 is Dead Guy. I love that sound going on in the background. It almost sounds like Morse code. This song almost has a little bit more of a streamlined quality to it. It really does sound like he's underwater or something with all of that distortion. It's like this song is just slowly building up here toward the end. That was track 6, Dead Guy. I really enjoyed that one. It was a little bit more speedy than the rest of this album has been, I would say. And like I said, almost a smoothness with the instrumentals. Even though those vocals were bringing so much distortion, it was like he was sinking underwater or something. I loved that guitar too, going on throughout the whole thing. It just kind of brought a sort of speediness to that song. Moving on to track 7 is Gameshow. I love that bass. It's bringing so much heaviness to the sound of this thing. I love all of the effects that they're doing across this album too. Like it just sounded almost like a siren there going off. I love how the verse just has these really quick, sharp bursts coming from the guitar and the percussion. And now here on the chorus, it's like it just smooths out. There's another sound effect too I keep noticing every now and again that reminds me of a fly buzzing in my ear. That was track 7, Gameshow. A pretty minimalistic one, actually. It really highlighted all of the instrumentals that they're using, especially on the verses there. It just was extremely pulled in with its sound. You just had that incredibly dense, heavy bass, which I love. And then there were these short, sharp bursts from the drums and the guitar. But then when the chorus came in, it's like that song just opened up and spread out with its sound. It became a lot more expansive sounding. All right, up next is track 8, which is called The Fall. Man, this percussion's crazy. This song has such a big sound to it. With that percussion, it's just got this wild sort of untetheredness to it. And then his vocals have that echoey quality. It's like they're in a warehouse or something and the sound is just bouncing all around. All right, this is unexpected. Such a melodic touch out of nowhere. That was track 8, The Fall. I feel like as this album continues, they keep introducing new things that I just do not expect at all. Like on that one, that piano I did not see coming. It started off so industrial and heavy and cold sounding, just this incredible big echoey quality to it. And then that piano came in and it brought like this sprinkle of melodicness and more of a light, joyful sound to that song. But I'm going to move on to track 9, which is called Lay Lady Lay. All Alright, there's a little bit of an acoustic element going on here at the start. Yeah, so much vocal distortion. Man, it's just got such a strong echoey quality to it. They've definitely stuck to that through this whole album. This song is a little bit different. It definitely sounds less heavy than the majority of this album has been. I love how you have this bass, which is so just dirty and deep with its sound. And then this, I don't know if it's an acoustic guitar, but some sort of acoustic element that's really light sounding. That was track 9, Lay Lady Lay. I would say probably the most upbeat of all the tracks on this album so far. I just loved the juxtaposition of sounds though, with that distortion, sort of an unsettled, creepy quality with the vocals, but then the instrumentals brought more of a lightness to that song with that acoustic quality they were introducing. Alright, moving on to the last song on Filth Pig is track 10 called Brick Windows. All this electronic noise here at the start. It sounds like a bunch of glitching. Okay, this sounds very Nine Inch Nails-esque, something like you'd hear off of Pretty Hate Machine. Intense, but really danceable at the same time. I'd kind of like to know what their lead singer's voice sounds like with no distortion whatsoever, because they just go so heavy-handed with that. This song is just so steady. It's like that one same beat just over and over and over again. That was track 10, Brick Windows. That one definitely reminded me of their last studio album that I've heard, Psalm 69, a little bit more up-tempo. It kind of had this danceability to it. It still has that awesome industrial sludginess with the vocal distortion, kind of dragging things down almost with the sound. I love how they fuse those two combinations of sound though. It has this really intense heaviness, but then that sort of upbeat quality completely goes against that, and they just pair the two together. I love it. Well, that does it for my reaction to Filth Pig, the 6th studio album from Ministry. There was such an amazing, dense heaviness to this album that I loved. It kind of fused a sort of sludginess with that industrial metal sound. I would say it definitely took things in a heavier direction than their last album, Psalm 69, which kind of had a little bit more of an upbeat, danceable quality to it. And Filth Pig just kind of dragged you down. It slowed things down a little bit, which I personally really enjoyed. Some of the standouts upon first listen, I really liked track 6, Dead Guy. That one had a sort of smooth, streamlined quality to it. It brought a little bit more energy almost to the album. And track 8, The Fall, was just doing some crazy things with the sound. I really liked all the experimentation on that song. But I think my favorite right now is the title track, Filth Pig. That one was just so slowed down. It was like molasses. It just brought such an amazing heaviness to its sound. But yeah, so far I've heard 2 Ministry albums and I've really enjoyed both of them. They're a great industrial metal band and I definitely want to hear more, so let me know what album you want me to do next from Ministry. And yeah, as usual, thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned, and I will see you in the next video.